Well, good afternoon, everybody. Certainly want to welcome you to New York City and let you know that the rebirth of boxing is back in Atlantic City. And Friday night, Showtime returns to a place where we used to bring you so many huge fights. And let's face it, no one does it like Showtime. No one showcases upcoming stars. No one showcases women's boxing like this network does it. And on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Showtime Boxing Special Edition is bringing you a triple header of fights, including 2 women's world title fights with Claressa Shields, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Ivana Habazin, headlining the first Showtime boxing event of the new year. One of the main promoters of this event is Salida Promotions, and their president, one of the guys who put all of this together, is Dimitri Salida.
Thank you, Brian. I'd like to thank Showtime. We look forward to a great night of boxing on January 10th. I'm very honored to be involved with the first major televised fight night of the year, and very grateful that this fight night is going to feature 2 significant women's world title fights. It really shows how much the sport has come relatively in a short period of time. Ever since Showtime has been supporting Claressa, we've seen other champions fight on other networks, but it's all really because of Claressa's development and her star power. And I'm very grateful and honored for this event. In the main event, Claressa is going to fight Ivana Habazin, and I've been communicating with Ivana and her team for the last several months. She's very focused. She's coming to win. She's in great shape. The third time is the charm, and we look forward to a great fight night with them. In the co-main event, we have Jaron Ennis, one of the best contenders, prospects in boxing, fighting the toughest fight of his career against Bakhtiar Yubov, who was a can't-miss prospect not too long ago. He's looking to rebound his career and is going to give Ennis the fight of his life. And in the opening fight, Alicia Napoleon is fighting Elin for the unified super middleweight world title. This is going to be a great night of boxing. I urge all the boxing fans to tune into Showtime and to show up to the Ocean Resorts and Casino and and check out this fight live. Thank you. See you guys in January.
You know, when you become a network who showcases boxing, you know, one of the things that our leader talks to us about is not only bringing you the biggest fights, the best fights, but also bringing you upcoming stars and also showcasing female boxing, just like we do it with the men. And the guy who is the visionary, who brought all of this together, is our president of sports and event programming, and it's Steven Espinoza.
Thanks, Brian. It's getting to that time of year where you can't turn on the TV or radio without seeing a Brian Custer on it somewhere. So get used to the face, that smiling face. You're going to be seeing a lot. We're now about to kick off with this event on Friday. 7 events over the next 8 weeks, featuring many of the biggest names in the sport, as well as some of the top prospects. Obviously, this Friday, 2 world championship fights in the women's division, plus one of boxing's top prospects. Next Friday, the 250th episode of, I think, one of boxing's longest running and possibly most underappreciated series. The all-important ShowBox has generated so many championship fighters and given so much to this sport. It is a thrill to be involved in the 250th episode there. And then to close out the month with Championship Boxing, co-featuring with Danny Garcia and Jarrett Hurd, along with Stephen Fulton at the Barclays Center. You know, Showtime Sports, as Brian has mentioned, has a long history in women's combat sports. From Layla Ali and Christy Martin to Gina Carano, Chris Cyborg, and Ronda Rousey. The first women's bout to air on national TV in boxing was in fact on Showtime. That's Christy Martin back in 1996. The first women's boxing main event on premium television history was our own Claressa Shields back in 2017. And since that fight, we've now done 11 more women's fights. So that's 12 women's fights over the last 3 years. We're proud of our commitment to the sport. And I offer that really only as a signpost, a mile marker in terms of our commitment. As Brian mentioned, we look at these fights like, no different than we do men's fights. This is a high-quality card, top to bottom, 2 world championship fights. The fact that we have a prospect like Jaron Ennis, who's so important to the sport and to us on this card, shows that this is, the best boxing that we are presenting here. Claressa, of course, will be attempting to make history yet again, to become the fastest fighter in boxing, male or female, to become a 3-division world champion. We all know Lomachenko did it in 12 fights. Claressa is trying to accomplish that in 10. And this is a long-awaited showdown. This is the 3rd scheduled date for this fight. Back in August, there was a postponement for injury. In October, another postponement because of the incident there in Flint. And now we have a date here, January 10th. This will be Claressa's 6th headlining appearance on Showtime. She is the undisputed middleweight world champion and now is moving down to become a unified junior middleweight champion. And perhaps as importantly, and I can say this both about Claressa, and about Alicia, they're both outspoken advocates and supporters, as well as, for her part, also for Ivana. All advocates for the sport, all very vocal about it. For Claressa, very personal to her, is her social causes, including the water crisis in Flint, including this past summer hosting a camp to help youth learn about dealing with anxiety, anger, sadness, depression, and all the things she's doing outside the ring to advance not just women's sports and women's issues, but youth as well. Now, Ivana Habazin, I think, stacks up well against anyone who has gotten into the ring with Claressa Shields. Some would argue this might be the toughest fight of her career. She is ranked number 1 by the WBO, 154 pounds. She's now training with former boxer Steve Upshur Chambers. He now joins a very short list of fighters who have both fought and trained on Showtime, as Steve, in fact, took on Andre Berto on Showtime as well. I don't have the exact number, but I'm sure it's a very short list of fighters who have done both. On the undercard, for my money, the top prospect in boxing, most talented and most promising, Jaron Ennis, in his toughest fight of his career against Bakhtiar Ubov. 14 consecutive knockout victories for Jaron Ennis. You know who he is, and he continues to build a very impressive resume at this point in his career. And opening on the card, and Lou will address this shortly, he's been a big advocate for her, and she's been a big advocate for herself. Alicia Napoleon, Ellen Cederos. We've talked about having Alicia on Showtime for quite a while. I'm thrilled to be able to add her to this card as a 2nd world title fight, and we're looking forward to a very exciting night on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. And as he mentioned, great thing about Friday night is we open the night with a unification world title fight. We've got the champion, Elin Cederos, the IVF super middleweight champion, taking on Alicia Napoleon Espinoza, the WBA super middleweight champion. Had the opportunity to call a number of her fights here in New York City. It's going to be fireworks. And then one of the men who put this fight together is one of boxing's best friends. I'm happy that he should have been inducted a long time ago, but going into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, he is the one and only president of DeBella Entertainment, Sweet Lou DeBella.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. The great Claressa Shields headlining a show. Good to see her do her thing. A tough woman she's fighting in Ivana. I wish her the best. I think it's going to be a terrific fight. I'm really grateful that Showtime is as dedicated to Claressa and to women's boxing as they are, that they gave Alicia this opportunity. As soon as Mark Taffet, thank you, for helping to facilitate this. And also Salida Promotions. I used to promote this guy. Now he's competing with me. But I'm really happy. I am happy to see him doing so well, and he deserves it. He was working really hard. Women's boxing deserves a spotlight. Showtime's giving it a spotlight. Claressa has been a huge force for positive change in terms of getting attention and money paid to women. We need more attention and money paid to women. When Alicia had the opportunity, and credit to her, to fight on this card, she did not want to fight just an ordinary fight. She said, if I'm getting an opportunity to showcase myself, go get me a unification, get me a tough fight. Elin is a terrific fighter. Tremendous story. Well, you know, it's amazing. The women have such great stories. You know, this woman didn't take up professional boxing till her second child was 1 year old. She took up amateur boxing after the birth of her first kid, and she was a professional soccer player before that. If you look at tape of her, you see she's a tremendous athlete. It's going to be a hard fight because she is such a great athlete. And I think she's still learning as a boxer, but anybody who's that athletic and has that kind of athletic ability is a huge danger. Alicia knows what she's up against, and it's going to be a terrific fight. I'm looking forward to the whole card. I mentioned this story a couple of times in the room already, but someone walked up to me, you know, a couple of days ago and interviewed me, and they gave me a list of a couple of fighters, and they said, well, if you could have a young fighter you don't have, would you take this guy, or this guy? I said, well, none of them. Could I have Boots Ennis? And that's how good I think that kid is, and he is a terrific talent, possibly the best up-and-coming prospect in the entire sport, any place. And I'm really looking forward to see him fight. I know the young man to my left is a tough guy, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you do your thing, bro. Thank you for having me here, and it's my pleasure first to introduce the IBF 168-pound female champion, Alicia and Elin. Oh, and I want to thank her team at Rapid Promotions, Bessim and Billy. You were a pleasure to work with. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Showtime. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, everybody. My team is something special. And it's a big opportunity to be here and be on this fight card. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Shield. I just try to enjoy every moment. This is my first time in the US. We come from Sweden. We arrived yesterday. And this is so fun, and I love it. It's a unification. It just feels so great. Thank you for being here.
You know, I've gotten to the point finally where I in my own head, I now view all the fighters that I represent as fighters. And among all the fighters I represent, I have very few that are as well-rounded, interesting, together people as Alicia and Espinosa. One of the most talented people I've ever worked with. She can commentate. She's a writer, a poet, you know, an advocate for mental health care, an advocate for children, and an advocate for women's boxing and equality the same way that Claressa is. And the winner of the fight between Alicia and Elin is being built publicly on a biggest possible showcase on a Friday night special edition of Showtime Boxing as a potential challenge down the road for Claressa. And I think that's important. It's important that we start building narratives and storylines and building the big fight for women, because women need to fight other women that are also well-known and the best they can be in order to make the money that they deserve. And they all deserve to make the most money they can and to be competitive in a world that's pretty much still a man's world. So it's my pleasure to introduce my fighter, the WBA champion, Alicia Napoleon Espinosa.
Lou, thank you so much. Oh, boy, Ellen, I share your joy. Elin, right? Elin. I'm saying Ellen. I share your joy because for us women to have this opportunity, I mean, it's hard to find words to describe it. It's amazing. We finally got here. And that being said, I just want to thank God. I want to thank God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for these opportunities, for these doors opening, for the hearts to change and turn, to view women's boxing as equal. We're getting there. I'm honored to be on this card with these women. and to be bringing this sport up together. We're pioneering. We're pioneering for all the women that are with us now and that are ahead of us. I want to thank my team. There you are sitting in red. My guys, Leon Taylor, Dylan Parsley, my 2 coaches, my husband, Roberto Espinosa, my manager, Brian Cohen, my promoter, Lou DeBella. I love these men. These men have believed in me. They backed me. They support me. And it's so great to hear and see hearts changing. Mark Taffet, great supporter of women's boxing. Steve Espinosa, thank you so much. This is a fabulous opportunity. I am overjoyed to be here. I am so grateful to just show out and bring on a great performance, grab those titles, and continue to move forward and face shields. All right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That, of course, will be the first fight of the night, unification fight. Then we get to the co-main, and you got 2 of the top prospects in the welterweight division. This next young man is promoted by Dimitri Salita. He comes into this fight, 14 victories, just 1 defeat, 1 no contest, but 12 of those victories have come by knockout. Bakhtiar Iyubov. Is this translator here?
Thank you, Showtime. Thank you, Sir Espinoza. Thank you, Dmitry Salita. Thank you, Ludebella.
Еще хочешь по-русски можешь стать, я переведу.
Ну,
Я тебе потом переведу.
я благодарен, то, что нахожусь тут, в этой карте. Я с маленького города. Я никогда даже не мечтал, что дойду до такого уровня. Я вырос на улице, и для меня как бы до сих пор шок, то, что я как бы дошел до такого уровня. Спасибо Господу, спасибо моей команде, всем.
I'm very happy to be here on the Showtime card, such a big card like this. As he said, he's coming from a small little country where he still kind of doesn't believe that it's really happening. He's really thankful that he's getting this opportunity, and he's gonna do his best on Friday.
Спасибо, то, что взяли меня на такой большой бой. Я знаю, мой оппонент очень хороший. Хороший в плане как боксер, как техничные данные, уважение. Бокс, спорт — это первое, быть джентльменом, уважать друг друга. Да, ну, конечно же, не на ринге. Но я буду стараться сделать все, чтобы победить. Но с такими, как я, не встречался. Я вырос на улице, я очень много дрался на улице. Я, конечно, не супер боксер, но сердце у меня очень большое.
I'm grateful to be on this card once again, to fight such a skilled and very tough opponent. I know he's very skilled, he's very strong physically, mentally, but I grew up on the streets. I've been in a war basically all my life, so I'm gonna bring in my toughness, and I'm not a regular opponent. I'm very not so skilled as he is, but I'm very awkward, so I have my chances.
Now let's meet his opponent. This young man, unbeaten, 24-0, but 22 of those wins have come by knockouts. In the streets, they know him as Boots. His government name, Jerron Ennis.
How y'all doing? First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank Showtime, Steve Espinoza, Mr. Ken, my dad, L, Salida Promotions for having me. But and I want to thank what's his name? Huh? I want to thank Yuba for taking this fight because, as y'all know, we go through a bunch of opponents every time I fight, and nobody want to fight me. And I thank him for taking this fight. But Friday night I'm coming out to do my thing, put on a show. And y'all know my slogan. I'm in and out like a robbery.
Now we get to the main event. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You've got the former welterweight world champion. This young lady comes into this fight 20-3. 7 of those victories have come by knockout. Ivana Habazin.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. I bet all of you are so excited to see this fight, so we have a fight finally. First, I want to say thank you to Showtime, Salita Promotion, and my team who made this fight. First, I want to say that Claressa Shields is not the greatest woman of all time, but she is the greatest bully of all time. And she can say whatever she wants, but you know what? Talk is cheap. And on Friday night, she ain't gonna do peep because I'm gonna knock her out. Thank you.
Well, that's why you need to watch the main event come Friday night. So how do you top that? Well, coming to the podium, you guys know her as the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. I like to call her the Migos of boxing because she walks it like she talks it. Her manager is Mark Taffet. He will introduce Claressa Shields.
Well, one thing I know, I'm definitely going to be able to see a few more words than Ivana's representative said. But I'm not going to be saying words like Ivana. That was a heck of a message. But that's what we expected. The third time's the charm. And we can't wait to see this fight happen. A lot of people told me, people with a lot of experience in this business, after October said, look, when these things happen, you move on. That's all. No reason. Find another fight and can continue. But we want to do things differently in women's boxing. And surely on Team Shields, between Claressa and I and her promoter, Dimitri Salita, and Showtime, we want to do the right thing. We want to set an example. Ivana Habazin worked very hard for many months, twice, to prepare to fight Claressa Shields in what, frankly, is the greatest opportunity in her professional career. She deserves the opportunity to have that fight, and that's why we are doing this fight. I'm thrilled to see her preparations have been wonderful. She looks great. I'm thrilled to see her demeanor because we want a great fight. We want great fights in the ring that showcase the best of women's boxing. And for Claressa Shields, we want nothing but the best fighters in the world at their best. And it looks like Ivana Habazin is going to be at her best. So congratulations, Ivana, and to her team, and we're looking forward to that. I want to thank Salita Promotions. Dimitri and Eugene and the team have been tremendous supporters of Claressa since day one in our relationship, and we appreciate greatly all of your efforts and all of your support. As long as we've been working with Salita Promotions, we've been working with Showtime. And Stephen, Gordon, everyone else on that team, you've been wonderful to work with. It's been a pleasure. You know, it was about 30 years I stood behind a microphone that had 3 letters that were a little different than this. But I'm very proud to be standing behind this Showtime microphone. They've been true professionals. They're advocates of the sport. There's nothing like sitting in a room with a bunch of executives who love the sport and don't even think about what they're doing as work. And that's Stephen and Gordon and Chris and Matt and the rest of that team. So thank you to you guys. We really, really appreciate your efforts. Watching Drawn Ennis is a treat. It's as simple as that. 5 seconds into watching his first fight, I've now seen him fight 3 times. You know you're watching something special, and to be able to see that from the beginning is really, and Lou and others have said, is a great opportunity. I think this is the first time that Lou DeBell and I are working together on a fight on the other side of the business table. So I'm excited about that, and I'm glad we were able to pull this together with Lou. I love the fight between Alicia and Elin, 2 champions. Again, this is what women's boxing is all about, the best fighting the best. I wish them both the best, and may the best woman win. We can't wait. And now, quickly, why am I here? I'm here because after I left HBO, I said, I want to make a difference. I want to do something important. I want to give back. And when I saw Claressa Shields coming out of the 2016 Olympics, I knew that on her broad shoulders, all the difference in the world could be made. In the ring, out of the ring, for women's boxing, for women, and for the sport of boxing. Claressa is gifted from God with the abilities that she has in the ring. Other than Floyd Mayweather and certain years of Roy Jones, I have to say it's pretty hard for me to think about seeing a fighter that shows the abilities that she does. It is a pleasure and a privilege every time to watch her in the ring. She's a game changer. She was a game changer when she was a kid. The adversity that she was faced with, if she didn't change the game, she wouldn't have made it out. And when I say make it out, not just make it out of the neighborhood, make it into life. She had to overcome things that most of us have never even dreamed of. So that showed you a lot about the character of this kid who became the young woman that's Claressa Shields. When she was 11 years old, boxing became something she turned to, and it really helped her and became an anchor for her, for focus and for betterment of her life. And she defined a lot of her future growth by the greatness she was able to achieve in boxing. As an amateur, 77-1, the only back-to-back gold medal winning boxer in U.S. history, 2-time Sportswoman of the Year, Fighter of the Year, Fighter of the Decade, 6 world titles in her first 9 fights. And as we sit here now, we are days away from the doorstep of history, if she, or as I call it, herstory, if she is successful and victorious Saturday night. She's 9-0 Friday night, excuse me. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, we definitely want her to be successful Friday before Saturday. She's a game changer, as I said. She'll continue to change the game. She has desires to do a lot in life. She wants to do some of the things that Billie Jean King and Muhammad Ali have done for society and for people. And she will do it. She's 24 years old. 24 years old. It's hard to imagine what she's done and what she's accomplished in these short years. And this is just the beginning. I can see the potential in her in and out of the ring, and primarily outside of the ring. And I don't even know if she realizes it, but Universal Studios is making a motion picture on her life for a reason. People in the know that they're looking at something special inside and out when they see Claressa Shields. So having said all that, it is my honor, my privilege, my pleasure to introduce my protege, my friend, sometimes my student, sometimes my mentor, the one and only Claressa Shields.
That was beautiful, Mark. I always tell him that. It's great. I don't need that. Well, one. Hey, everybody. Hey. Happy 2020. We made it. What? Woo. First, I just want to thank God for getting me here, being with me throughout camp. Just being with my mind and my physical, and being with me spiritually as we experienced this stuff in Flint and had to reschedule the fight again. And, just happened to go through all the bullcrap with Ivana and her team. She did not want to fight. She tried everything to get out to fight. Oh, my God, she wanted more money. She talking about she wants security. She talking about I can't have this person here. I can't have... This girl did not want to fight. I'm telling y'all the truth. But I have a wonderful team. Shout out to Mark Taffet. Shout out to Demetri Salita. Thank you, Showtime, Stephen Espinoza. You know, after everything happened in Flint, I had a conversation with Stephen Espinoza, and he just told me just like, stay focused, you know, and everybody who was in Flint, anybody who knows me personally know that the incident that happened in Flint is not something that I have a history of doing. I don't do stuff outside the ring. I'm not a thug, you know. She called me a thug in her statement. She said a whole bunch of stuff, and just to her, like, that's why she will never, ever in life be a real world champion, because world champions don't carry themselves like that. She's using a situation that happened in Flint with her coach to become some kind of Croatian superstar or something. It's so weird. She's weird, her and her whole team. Now let's talk about the fight. She got up here and said I was a bully. First off, right after the stuff happened, after I spoke to Coach Bashir on the phone multiple times and checked on him multiple times to make sure he was straight, she making all these statements, right? And then I seen her statement. Guess what I did on Instagram? Blocked her. I haven't even inboxed the girl, talked to her since I seen her statement, because that's ignorance on her part. That's ignorance, you know, knowing that I'm carrying the sport of women's boxing and you're trying to trash my name when I've never been a thug. I've never been in jail. I've never had handcuffs on me, but I'm a thug. That's why I'm saying she weird. And just with the fight happening, I'm more prepared than ever. You know, it's just been so much. I could say a lot of stuff that she said, but one of the main things that really was disrespectful was that I didn't make weight for October 4th. Don't believe the lies. I made 154 pounds, 154.0, and I'm going to be a 3-time division world champ come Friday. Ivana doesn't stand a chance in hell. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it real. She's not as skilled as Hammer. She worked her way up, but I'll tell you this. Once a quitter, always a quitter. She quit in the fight against Michaela Lauren. She had a 10-round fight with a girl who was 14-14. When you look at me and you see the kind of fighter that I am, I'm once in a century kind of athlete. The quotes on my back, and that's what I carry 24/7. I train so hard for Ivana. She gonna be sick after the fight. Her and her whole team, because she put in all that hard work for nothing. There's nothing she can do to beat me. And I guarantee it's gonna be over before 6 rounds. And I say 6 because I'm punching different. I'm punching way different at 154. I'm stronger. I'm faster. She was slow in the beginning. I'm faster. And then even with that, this girl is a quitter. She's a quitter. She's going to quit. As soon as she get hit, go right back to her old ways, covering up, swinging all wild, ducking her head. She don't got a chance in hell. First round, she going to come out there with some confidence. But as soon as I hit her, all that confidence she had up her talking about she gonna knock me out. I'm about to be real. Ivana hasn't got a knockout since 2011. I was 16 back then. Just so some of us can't do the math. I was 16. I'm 24. So in 8 years, she hasn't got a knockout, but she gonna knock out the greatest woman of all time. No, the fuck you're not. Stop it. Stop the nonsense. Goofy. She's goofy. She's goofy. And you know what? Just with the whole thing, like, I don't even have to talk much, because make sure you're out there in Atlantic City, New Jersey, January 10th, because that's my coming out party. Boots gonna turn it up. Alicia she gonna open it up. And after that, I'm gonna close this show. I'm gonna put down the curtains. Down goes Has Been.
There you have it. So now let's talk about the fights. And let's start with the first fight of the night, unification fight. 2 world champions. Elin, start with you. You guys have your mics in front of you, making your U.S. debut, unbeaten. What does it mean to be not only fighting here in the States, but on a national platform like Showtime, and the opportunity to become a unified champion?
It's a big dream coming true. Thank you for this opportunity. I don't know what to say. I'm just enjoying the moment, and what I'm for sure we're gonna put on a great show on Friday night.
Alicia, you've sold out venues in New York City. Now you get the opportunity here again on a national platform like Showtime. Your thoughts on the opportunity to become a unified champ? It's one thing to be world champion. It's another thing to be unified.
I almost stole your thunder and started talking over you. Well, what does it mean? It means a multiple of things. Because when I started boxing, when I was an amateur, I was like, yeah, I would love to be a world champion one day. And my goal was to at least get one belt. And now that I'm here and I'm unifying, even before that opportunity, I said, no, I want more. I want more. And I want more than to be a world champion, but have the opportunity to be on these platforms and thrive and to be a world changer and really inspire people to do the same thing and reach their dreams. And the only reason why I might have only believed that I could only grab one belt and maybe that would be an opportunity was because for women, there was no boxing for us. You know, we heard of Layla Ali and we heard of Christy Martin, but that was about it. And then it dropped, and it was a dry spell for a while until now, until we're here now. So it's just such an amazing feeling to be here and to be one of the women God picked to be on this platform and perform.
Elin, tell the people what gives you your biggest confidence coming Friday night. Tell us why you'll be victorious.
I just feel it in me. I'm so strong, and my training, I developed so much. I just been in the boxing ring. I did my first amateur fight for like 6 years ago, and had pause 2 years because my second pregnancy, my kid Jack, is turning 4 in February. So my kids are back home. My husband is coming for tomorrow. What was the question?
Why are you confident you're going to win?
I'm confident. Yeah, okay. The training is I'm just so strong. I feel I have this in me, and the boxing is just straight ahead, and I think it's just going to be so great.
Absolutely. All right, Alicia. You know, your team has put out there, if you're victorious, they would love a big matchup with Claressa next. Not too long ago, you guys had a nice little back and forth on social media. T-Rex said she even offered you a fight in the past, and quote, talking about you, she said, she wanted no parts of me at 160 or at 168. So my question to you, did you avoid her in the past? And if you're victorious, do you want Claressa Shields next?
Avoid her, and we hashed this out before in person, not on social media. I want to get paid, okay? I want to make decent money. I want to eventually get paid as well as the men are getting paid in the sport. You know, when Claressa first started, they weren't offering money that they're offering now, and that money still needs to be more. Sorry, but it does, okay? I love you guys, and I'm taking the opportunity, but it needs to change, okay? Women offer just as much as the men, and guys, I love you, okay? Because I've looked up to you, and I admired all the male fighters. Who's talking in that crowd? Ain't saying something bad? I guess I'll come off this podium right now. But, no, did not avoid Claressa. Looking forward to it. You know, I'm in this game to be challenged and fight the best, be the best. That's what we're here for. But I'm going to make a stand, and I'm not going to say yes until I feel that is right financially and until the team agrees. So that's where I stand, because if I don't stand for that now, it's never going to change, and women behind me and with me at the moment are never going to benefit from it. And that's it.
If you're victorious, do you want Shields next?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Shields, and then I also want Franchon Cruz-Dezern because she's in my weight class, and right now she's the title holder of those 2 other belts, so I would love a unification fight with her as well.
Fantastic. That's the opening bout, unification fight. Let's get to the co-main. And yes, get the translator for Yubov. Back to Yar. You're quoted as saying, Jaron Ennis is going to be in the hardest fight of his life. Tell us why Friday night will be the hardest fight of his career.
Ты говорил, что это будет твой самый... Эннис будет самый тяжелый бой в этой карьере. Почему? Это будет для него самый тяжелый бой в его карьере. У него это будет его самый тяжелый бой в его карьере. По-русски скажи. Микрофон.
Ну, потому что я так думаю, потому что я не буду отходить назад, я буду драться как волк. И я пришел сюда не проиграть. За спиной моей ничего нету, я хочу выиграть, я хочу денег, я хочу идти дальше. Это шанс, спасибо им, спасибо ему, спасибо его команде, спасибо всем. Вот, спасибо. Ну, я не знаю, я это говорю как человек, который уверен в себе.
He's saying it's going to be Ennis's hardest fight because he came here to fight. He said he's going to come in like a hunter. He's going to hunt him down. He's going to put pressure on him. He's not going to let go of him. And it's a big, he's first of all, he's thankful once again. It's a big money fight for him. He's hungry and he needs to get through. That's it.
Jaron, you said Friday night is all about making a statement to the welterweight division. What's that statement you're trying to make to the division?
That statement is doing my thing, me having fun as always, being sharp, smart, fast, strong, and getting that knockout. It's gonna come because he's sure it's gonna come. He got to come to me, so it's gonna come. We're gonna set it up perfect and get him up out of here.
Lastly, back to Yar. Someone in your camp made the point that Jaron's never been past 6 rounds. Do you plan on taking him into the deep rounds of this fight?
Бой план покажет, война план покажет.
The fight is going to show its plan. He's planning to pressure.
He's basically saying it's going to be a short night. Jaron, how do you anticipate this fight coming out, showing out on Friday?
That sounds good. It's different when you're in there with me. You can watch me all day, but when you're in there with me, I'm strong, I'm fast, and I'm unpredictable. You don't know what I'm going to do. I can switch it up. I can have fun. I can do whatever I want to do to him. So Friday night, he gonna see why that nobody want to fight me. He gonna understand why nobody wants to fight me.
We'll wrap it up with this. You know, you've been regarded as one of the top prospects in the sport. I think Claressa even called you the next Roy Jones Jr.
Period.
Is this the year that Jaron Ennis steps up to the championship level of the welterweight division, which is regarded as deep and probably the best division in boxing for men?
Most definitely. That's what we want. After I do my thing on Friday night, we most definitely looking for the top 10, top 15, title eliminators, world titles, all that. 2020 will be the year that I will take over, and the world will know about Jaron Boots Ennis.
That's the co-main. Now let's get to the main event. Thank you. Ivana, let me start with you. Claressa has certainly come down in weight for this fight. Last summer when she injured her knee, it was the first time that this fight was postponed. You joked that maybe Shields was having trouble making weight. This will be your 5th straight fight at this weight. Do you believe that will be an advantage for you? Her coming down will be a disadvantage for her going into this fight.
Well, if I can say something about injury, I didn't see medical exam, so I don't know. Maybe my joke wasn't just a joke. 154, I definitely think it's going to be advantage for me, but I don't concern myself about her weight, whatever. This is the fight. It's not a game, and I came here to win.
Claressa?
Drugs. Only thing I can say to that. Medical records. Dumb. I was in a whole knee thing for 2 months. I couldn't even walk. Is she mentally challenged? Man, like stuff like that is where I be like, she a little off. You know what I mean? She weird. But
Let me ask you this.
I don't fake no injury. Not for her anyway. No.
You victorious Friday night.
I would.
We've already pointed out more history.
Yep.
3 different weight classes. Fastest person in the sport to accomplish that as a world champion. What would it mean to you personally?
You know, I just try to carry women's boxing in boxing the best way that I can. I'm regarded as a top 10 fighter in boxing already with only 9 fights. So when you have that kind of pressure on you every fight and that kind of, people looking up to you, you have to go out there and not be average. You have to go out there and be great every fight. And for me, making this feat here, becoming a 3-time division world champion faster than Lomachenko, who holds the record at 12 fights, to me, it'll just solidify my claims at being the greatest woman of all time, which a lot of people agree with it. A lot of people don't. But I don't really care about what nobody else think, though. It's about what I feel and what I think and what I know. And skill-wise, there's not a woman that can compare to me. Skill-wise, I can do everything. I can box. I can brawl. I can stand there toe-to-toe if you want to. I can stand there toe-to-toe and not get hit and land my shots. When you have that kind of caliber fighter, as in being a woman, that's God-gifted, and I'm a once-in-a-century athlete. So when I win this fight, all I'm going to do is get a little louder with she the GWOAT, greatest woman of all time. Putting it there. I claim it.
Ivana, considering everything that has happened between you two, you add in what happened at the last weigh-in. When I say the name Claressa Shields, is it more anger, or motivation when I say that name?
Jealousy.
You know what? She can say whatever she wants, but
And I will.
lion doesn't concern himself with opinion of sheep, so I don't even think about her.
Please, stop it. That's how world champions talk. You ain't no damn world champ. Don't be talking like that. She pitiful, man. I'm telling you, like, y'all thought I beat up Hammer? I'm about to sleep her. Oh, man. Look.
Let me ask you this.
She's a quitter. She's going to quit.
It leads into my next question, because you promised a knockout.
I'm going to deliver.
And although you've been dominant here in your last few fights, you haven't gotten a stoppage in nearly 2 years. Why will Friday be different?
Well, first, let's talk about how I'm only 9-0. When you talk about getting knockouts and then being faced against the opponents that I'm faced with, if you would have gave me tomato cans to fight up on Showtime, I would have 9 knockouts on Showtime. If you look at who I fought, Hannah Gabriels, who she been knocked out by. Okay. Then you talk about Tori Nelson, 17-0 when I fought against her. Who knocked her out? Nobody. I beat her. We talk about Christina Hammer, 24-0, 11 knockouts. Who beat her? She was undefeated. So when people put the pressure, oh, you supposed to be knocking girls out. No, I'm not. I'm supposed to go in there and beat them. And technically, I would have got the knockout on Christina Hammer, but she kept holding me. It's not my job to be the ref. That's the ref job. And that ref also apologized to me about not doing her job correctly. So when you talk about getting knockouts, you got to put the facts in there and look at who I've been fighting. I was 3-0 fighting against a girl 15-6. What kind of athlete do you see doing that? So when you talk about getting knockouts, no, I had to learn how to be a professional fighter. Me and my coach been working on me making sure that I place my punches, land them, and not just throwing with all speed, because when I first turned pro, they were saying I was throwing over 150 punches in 2 minutes. They were saying that if I was to be a male fighter and I was to box 3 minutes, I would be throwing over 125 punches. So with that, now we slowed the punch count down. We're going to aim our shots. We're going to take our time. And now I'm just more comfortable without fighting in the headgear. In the Olympics, the women have to fight with headgear, and the amateurs, when the boys don't. So I was never used to, first off, getting headbutted, getting elbowed, all that without the headgear. So now that I've learned that, it will be a knockout. That's why I got close to knocking out Hammer. And I've stung every girl that I've fought. Every girl. Either they made it to the last minute of the round, but if I was to box 3 minutes, you can add 4 or 5 more knockouts that I would have. But we only got 2 minutes to do work. So with the 2 minutes, I go in there and do what I can. But all my fights have been dominant. I haven't even had a split or a majority decision. So knockouts don't matter. What matters is the W. But this fight, I'm a Deontay Wilder her. For sure. Call
Ivana,
me a bully now, because I'm about to fuck her up.
we'll wrap it up with this, Ivana. It's been written, Claressa's bigger, faster, and too stronger for you. Tell us why Friday night will be different.
Please tell me.
You're gonna see.
It ain't true. That's why. She don't have an answer. I'm stronger. I'm faster. I can fight at 175 and beat those girls and come all the way down to 154. That's why Cecilia ran her ass down to 140 to fight against Katie Taylor. No. I'm way stronger than her. She about to get pieced up.
Champ, we'll wrap it up with this. You heard Alicia? She said, listen, you both victorious. That'd be one heck of a fight next. Your team is also inviting Amanda Nunes to the fight. They say it could be the biggest fight in women's boxing history. So if you're victorious, do we do Alicia? Do we do Amanda Nunes afterwards?
Well, I just want to rewind because when you asked Alicia that question about if she dug me, her answer wasn't incorrect, but the correct answer was the question was, has she been offered a fight with me? And the question is yes. And if she turned down a fight for whatever reason she did, she turned down a fight. But the only reason I came down to fight at 160 was because I wasn't going to be able to come undisputed at 168. It was too hard to get fights with the girls at 68. Come down to 60 was more competition, and it was what they considered to be better fighters. So that's where I came to. I think Alicia Napoleon is a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? To fight her, of course. Y'all already know I want to fight. I want to fight everybody. We know that. It don't matter what weight, where we at, where we got to go to fight. I want to fight. Just for this year, I would love to fight at the Madison Square Garden. I would love to fight in Vegas. Rather I be the main event, rather I'm the co-main. I would just, like last year, I built myself up very well when I became undisputed champ. And then when I fought 4 times in 2018, now it being 2020, I just want to establish myself and really become one of those mainstream boxers, not just female boxers, but mainstream, like stuff that you don't see. Like what you're going to see on January 10th, stuff that you don't see. You know, me becoming a 3-time division world champion, faster than any male or female fighter in history, and then fast forward into a fight with the winner of the Alicia and I think her name was Elin.
Mm-hmm.
So the winner of that, and like I said, just broadening women's boxing, you know, making it bigger. But for Amanda Nunes, yeah, come. So, because you know, she said she would fight me if they offer her $1 million. Look, offer her $2 million. Just get her in the ring. Get her in the ring with me so they know I'm the baddest when it comes to throwing hands. Nobody can beat me in that. And as far as this year, I will be having my first MMA match at the end of the year. So I got a lot of stuff that I got going on. I could do it all. I'm 24. I'm young. I'm hungry. And I'll fight whoever, whenever. And I can't wait to throw some elbows in MMA. Gonna be fun.
There you have it, folks. Friday night, 9 p.m., Showtime Boxing Special Edition from Atlantic City. Fighters, let's face off here.
Jill, everybody, we need you guys to all stay down in the front. We'll take plenty of time for both, okay?
You're good, team man. You're good.
Face to face first for down front.
You look like you want to do something. Let's move. I dare you.
Get a mic up there.
He's the same guy.
Where your belt at? You ain't got it.
Anthony?
Good.
Okay, ladies out front.
Let's
Down
go
low
for
to the
the
cameras
start.
in front.
Right here, please. No competition.
Yep, cameras in front. And then cameras stay down. Jill, stay down for the video in the back, please. Thank you, Jill.
Have you guys right here one more time?
Andres, you good?
You got it?
All right, let's have Jerron and Alicia, Elin, and Bakhtair please step in. We'll do a group shot.
I
said Coke's cheap, so
And you cheap. You cheap.
All right.
I can be cheap, but you are not smart. So anyway.
I'm not
Okay,
smart.
we need to
Well,
cancel
I'm not
this.
smart because I'm black. I can't comprehend. I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
That's you wrote, stupid. You wrote it.
No, you don't know read, but I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to read. Why am I to read?
That's it. Thank you very much.
How am I
Skip
to
the group
read?
shot. Thank you very much.
You
Yes,
dumb.
we
I went
skip
to
the group
college.
shot.
How am I to read? I'm stupid. She's an idiot.
We're gonna skip the group shot.
Yeah,
We'll have
skip
you
her.
for one
I
on one.
would slap her ass, but she'd run her ass home and jump in the plane. I don't want to fight her. I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for my life. I want to go home. Oh, I'm so scared. I'm scared of black people. Bitch,
Jerron,
she's sick in the head. Oh, I swear to God. She dumb. She is dumb. I've never met nobody like that. That's a promise. I've never met nobody in my life.
we gotta get the other.
She is weird.
Camera stay
I've
down.
never met a girl weird as her in my life.
Anthony, tell me when.
I'm good.
Okay, now, fellas, face out. Face out to the cameras down in front first. Yeah, cameras in front first. Video in the back next. All right.
Got it, Chris.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, John. Alicia, Elin.
You know, also like, how you want to
Face to face first.
Hey, down in front, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a safe trip down. We'll see you tomorrow. And yes, stay face to face. 5 more seconds. Okay, thank you. Face out. Still cameras down front first.
I'll be right here, please.
And video in the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.